Have you ever hung up the phone or walked away from a conversation and instantly thought, why do I feel exhausted right now? Like you didn't run a marathon, you just talked, and yet you feel drained after talking to someone. If that's you, listen closely. You're picking up more than you realize. The most exhausting conversations aren't always loud. Sometimes they're quiet, polite, even normal, but they pull on you in invisible ways. So what's the real reason you feel this way? It's the emotional weight underneath the words. When you're talking to certain people, your brain starts doing extra work. You're reading their tone, predicting their reaction, trying to keep the peace, trying to say the right thing, trying not to upset them. And that constant internal effort creates emotional exhaustion, especially if you're an empath. That means you're highly tuned in. You notice shifts, you feel tension fast, you absorb moods easily. And if you don't have strong emotional boundaries, you start carrying emotions that were never yours to carry. That's how emotional burnout starts. Not from one big dramatic event, but from 1,000 tiny moments of emotional labor you didn't consent to. Now let's make it clear. Not everyone who drains you is a bad person. Some people are just heavy. They vent without checking in. They spiral. They complain but don't change. They pull you into toxic conversations where you become their emotional support system. And that's where the term energy vampires comes in. Not monsters, just people who unconsciously take more than they give. Maybe you're watching this and thinking, okay, but how can I tell if I'm actually absorbing too much? Here are the signs. You replay the conversation in your head afterward. You feel tension in your chest, jaw, or shoulders while you're talking. You suddenly feel guilty, even though you didn't do anything wrong. You feel responsible for their emotions, like it's your job to fix it. You feel tired, foggy, or irritable after, even if the conversation wasn't long. You notice you start performing, becoming the calm one, the helpful one, the strong one. And you feel relief when it ends, but also a weird emptiness. Let me give you a quick example. You're texting a friend. They ask, are you mad at me? And you're not mad, you're just busy. But suddenly you feel pressure, so you start explaining, and adding emojis, and reassuring, and now you're managing their anxiety. That's not connection, that's emotional babysitting. Because you weren't just listening, you were carrying. And the hidden patterns behind all this? People-pleasing, over-explaining, rescuing, and guilt. People-pleasing says, if they're okay, I'm safe. Over-explaining says, if they understand me, they won't reject me. Rescuing says, if I fix this, I'll be valued. And guilt says, if I don't help, I'm a bad person. But you're not a bad person for having limits. You're a healthy person for honoring them. Here's the metaphor that might stick with you. Your energy is like a phone battery. Some conversations are a charger, some are neutral, and some are 27 apps running in the background. You don't notice it until you're at 3%. This can be fixed with simple, doable steps that protect your energy. Step 1. Name what's happening. Quietly to yourself. In the moment, just think. This is emotional load. This isn't mine. That one sentence can stop you from merging with their mood. Step 2. Stop auto-responding. Take one breath before you reply. One breath creates space, and space creates choice. You don't have to match their urgency. Step 3. Use a boundary phrase that feels calm and kind. Here are 3 you can borrow today. I hear you. I can't go deep on this, but I hope it gets easier. I'm not the best person to hold, but I'm rooting for you. Notice how none of those are rude. None of those are cold. They're clear, and clarity is kindness. Step 4. Don't over-explain your boundary. This is a big one, because over-explaining is where your energy leaks out. You don't need a 5-paragraph essay to justify your needs. A simple sentence is enough. If someone demands more, that doesn't mean your boundary's wrong. It means they're used to having access you're no longer giving. Step 5. Do a 60-second reset after draining conversations. This is how to stop absorbing other people's emotions. When you're done talking, don't immediately scroll or jump into the next thing. Instead, do this. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, Exhale longer than you inhale and ask yourself, what am I feeling and what was theirs? You'll be shocked how fast you can separate the two. Now, quick mindset shift. You can be a kind person without being a container for everyone else's chaos. And here's a line you'll want to replay. You can love people and still choose peace. So the next time you feel drained after talking to someone, don't panic. You're allowed to respond to it. You're allowed to step back from toxic conversations. You're allowed to build emotional boundaries. You're allowed to stop people pleasing. You're allowed to protect your energy. Slowly, you're learning a new way to stay whole. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.